Okay, so everybody knows that I sing, but I also do comedy. Yeah, I know, you're probably laughing already, but it's true. Last year during the class talent show, I did comedy. And I rapped, but I did comedy. And about 75% of the kids laughed. So I'm hoping to get the other 25% here. And this is the perfect opportunity because it's talent show theme at TWG. 10 Wonderful Girls. So I hope you enjoy. Bye. So a couple of months ago, me and my mom and my brother went to the movie theater to see Marley and Me. We were in the movie theater and we were sitting in the second row, and this man and his dog were sitting in the front row. And it was your regular, funny, sad movie. But every time there was a funny part, the dog would laugh his head off. And every time there was a sad part, he would cry his eyes out. So I thought it was amazing. So I went up to the man and I said, "That's incredible. He seemed like he really liked the film." He said, "Yeah, it is, because he hated the book." Okay, so I hate staying home alone. Every time my mom crosses the street, I feel so, I don't know, I hate staying home alone. Because my neighbor, he got robbed. Here's the story. Okay, so the burglar is in the house, and he wants to rob the house. So he's walking, and he hears this noise. "I can see you, and so can Jesus." He looks back, and he thinks, who could that be? So he looks back, and he sees nothing, thinks nothing of it, and he keeps walking. He keeps walking, and he hears it again. "I can see you, and so can Jesus." He looks back to see a cage right in the corner with a parrot in there, and he says it again. "I can see you, and so can Jesus." And he looks back and he says, "So what? You're just a parrot." And he says, and the parrot says, "Well, maybe, but Jesus is a Rottweiler." I patrol a 3rd grade class in my school, and there's this little boy that always makes an announcement that's so funny. And one day, he thought he'd make an extra funny announcement. He tapped the teacher on the shoulder and he said, "I don't want to scare you, but my dad says if I don't start getting better grades, somebody's going to get a spanking." I came home from school one day, and my mom asked me, "Why does your geography exam have a big 0 over it?" I said, "It's not a 0. My teacher ran out of stars, so she gave me a moon instead." I was daydreaming in social studies as usual when my teacher whacked the table and says, "Shealeigh, give me 3 reasons why the world is round." I said, "Well, you say so, and my mom says so, and my dad says so." I'm a nice girl, right? Okay, well, we were playing soccer at recess one day, and everybody was playing except for this one girl, and she was standing by the curb by the basketball hoop. And I couldn't help but just go over there and ask her what was wrong. So I went over there and I said, "What's up?" She said, "Nothing." I said, "Well, do you need a friend?" She said, "No." So I went back to the soccer game and started playing. And a couple of minutes later, I kept noticing that she was still standing there. I went back and I said, "Are you sure you're okay?" She said, "Yeah, I'm fine." So I walked back, and then when recess was almost over, she was still standing there. And I went over and I said, "Okay, recess is almost over. What's up?" She said, "I'm the goalie." It was Teacher's Appreciation Day at my school, and my teacher always seemed to know what was in the present. So the florist's daughter brought this big bag, and she gave it to the teacher and said, "I got this just for you." The teacher said, "Is it some flowers?" The girl says, "Well, how'd you know?" The teacher says, "Just a lucky guess." So the bookstore owner's son came in with this big box, so beautifully wrapped, and he gave it to the teacher, and he said, "I got it just for you." She said, "Is it some books that I've been wanting?" He said, "Well, how'd you know?" She says, "Just a lucky guess." So the liquor store owner's son came in with this big bag, and it was dripping all over, and he gave it to her, and she says, "Is that beer?" He says, "No." She says, "Is that alcohol of any kind?" He says, "No." She says, "Well then, what is it?" He says, "It's a puppy." Thank you for listening to my